Hello everyone, welcome to another screencast feedback session. So the question is the same. Some people think that personal happiness is directly related to economic success. Others argue that happiness depends on different factors. We have to discuss both views and give our own opinion. So I am going to address my student as you. So you have started here with happiness is a form. So before all that, let me count the number of words you've written. So it's 309, so that's good because we are supposed to write at least 250 words. The suggestion is to write at least 270 to 80, so you've done well in that regard. And about paragraphing, you have written 4 paragraphs. That is good. 4 to 5 is ideal. Alright, let's start. Happiness is a form which helps people to live peacefully. Okay, so normally we say happiness is a state, but here you have written form, so okay, that's fine, that's not a problem. All the people in this world want to become happy in their life, so that's good. No grammatical mistakes yet. They try to keep them happy by doing so many things. Okay, so there are some issues here. They try to keep themselves happy. It should be so them, it's referring to themselves, right? So it should be themselves. And the word so, the phrase so many or so beautiful, so good, so this is very informal. We should write something like doing a great many things or several things. And even the word things, it's not a good word to use in an IELTS test. Use a richer vocabulary item like great many. You can rephrase the sentence. Okay, so you can write great many acts, or even take many routes, right? Take several routes to receive happiness. Alright, many people focus to, it should be earn. So it's a spelling mistake, it's a typo, it's not a big mistake, but you should be careful. Many people focus to earn so much money to become happy, where others find happiness with their works. Okay, so many people focus to earn so much money to become happy. First of all, the word so, already mentioned that so is informal. So much money to become happy, it should be whereas, right? Whereas other, it should be others. Let me just write S and put it in red. Others find happiness with their work. So the word works, I don't really like that. It's not a good sentence, it's not a good word to use. You could say something like others find happiness with their, say, jobs or state of life, or even careers, right? Some people think that personal happiness is directly related to economic success. Others argue that happiness depends on different factors. Unfortunately, these two sentences are copied word by word from the question. So this is a very bad thing to do. You cannot do this. The first thing is you should not even write one single keyword which is there in the question. Please rephrase. It's very, very important to fix this part. Alright, so this part, if you can compare it, it's exactly the same as the question. So it's a good idea to paraphrase the question. You do not need to paraphrase word by word, but if you want, you can do so, and you do not have to write a different word for every single word. Obviously, for example, some can remain some, people can also remain people. Think, besides think, you can say view or have the opinion that personal happiness, this word, this term can be replaced with the inner happiness, or the inner, the way that one becomes happy. You can rephrase it by using a phrase. Okay, so instead of directly related, you can say is completely related, or is completely tied to, connected with, and besides, and instead of economic success you can write financial stability, financial gain. Alright, so there are a lot of options for you to take. The same goes for the next sentence as well. So this, you have to correct this part. It's a very important thing that you correct this, because this may penalize you a lot. Personally, I think that happiness depends on different factors. So there are some very good things in this paragraph as well. First of all, it's a big paragraph. You do not have to write such a big paragraph. It's 81 words. You should try to limit your first paragraph to 60 words, I guess. So, but besides that, it's a good paragraph. You've started by introducing what happiness is, and then you've written something which talks about the importance of happiness, and then you paraphrase. You should have paraphrased, but you didn't. But anyway, you talked about what the prompt requires, what the question prompt requires, and then you gave your own opinion. So this is a very good way to fulfill the task requirement. The task requirement number 1 is to discuss both views. You have mentioned both views and then give your own opinion. So you have actually given your own opinion. So this is very good. Good. You fulfilled the task requirements. Before going to the next paragraph, let me see if you have written transitional sentence and transitional markers. You have not, unfortunately. Only this one is a linking device, and there should be a comma, but it's not mandatory. Let me still write it. You should give more transitional markers, okay? At least 2 in each paragraph, or 3 or 4 even. Okay, so the next paragraph starts with on one hand. So this is a good transitional marker. Let me mark it in green. However, you haven't given a comma, so let me mark it in red. On one hand, this is true that money is the most important part in one's life. Okay, so this is true that the money is the most important part. So you shouldn't say that something is the most important anything and claim it to be true, right? You can say that many people think that way. You can say that most people may think that money is the most important part in someone's life. And also this part, you've made a technical error. It should be someone's, someone apostrophe s. Alright, and this is true that, let me rephrase it to write something like, for most people or many people, it is true that ... one can buy. It should be buy, not buys. After can or might or do, the verb is not the third person singular. One can buy his needed things through money. It's not a good phrase. You should write something like, one can satisfy his needs through or via or with money. A lot of money can help a person to live a luxurious life. So the word luxurious is a good word to use. Let me mark it in blue. From money, the person can also achieve success too. So you've already written also, so the word to is not required. So either one of them should go away. Redundant, as you have also written also. Alright. Although happiness never comes from money. Alright, so this is not a complete sentence grammatically. You should write, however, happiness never comes from money for everyone, right? You shouldn't just generalize what you think and pass it off as a fact. It's not a universal fact that happiness never comes from money. For some people, or maybe many people, it can indeed be true that all they require is money. You shouldn't say that nobody requires money to be happy. Alright? There is no surety. I think the word is surety, right? Surety. Oh, no, I am wrong. You were right. It is surety, I guess. There is no surety that money can bring happiness. This is a good sentence. Moreover, you've written in a transitional device here. There are a lot of rich people. It should be a lot of or lots of, either one of that. A lot of or lots of rich people in the world whose, it should be who are really not happy. The word really is informal. Having money cannot, it should be together. The words cannot, they shouldn't be separate. Cannot remove problems all the time. Happiness does not depend on money. Money only needs to overcome from daily needs. So you messed up writing this sentence. You should write something like money is only needed, right? Is only needed, and to overcome, there is no from required. Redundant. Alright, so I've got another thing to comment on in this paragraph. So you've written only 2 linking devices, and there are a lot of simple sentences. For example, this is simple sentence. This is a simple sentence. This is a simple sentence. This is a simple sentence. So you should write more complex sentences, because that will earn you more marks. You have to write with a range of sentences. Yeah. Complex, simple, and also compound. Use more complex sentences. So another thing is that up to this point you've written about this view. Some people argue that personal happiness is directly related to economic success. However, from this part onward, you've started this view. You shouldn't do that. You should dedicate one entire paragraph to one view and another paragraph on another view. Okay, so you wrote the negatives of money in this paragraph as well. You should have written 1 or 2 more sentences to this paragraph to make it all about money can buy happiness, and then in the next paragraph you could have written about no, money cannot buy happiness on its own. So anyway, let's continue. On the other hand is a is a linking device, and it's also a transitional marker. Different factors around someone can make himself happy. So around someone can make himself, different factors can make someone happy. That's a simple way to to write this sentence. Not all the time it needs money to become happy. So the word it's not a good pronoun. It's not the proper pronoun to use. You should write not all the time, everyone, right? Everyone, or he, or people. If you write people, then the next word should be need, or otherwise it should be needs. A person can find different types of happiness with his daily life. It should be in his daily life, right? It's not with, but in. Doing his job, spending time with family and friends. There is an extra space here. Extra space before comma. Following religious rituals, enjoying environment. It should be the environment. Every time before the word environment there is a the. Alright. And so many things. The word so is as I've mentioned, informal. That can or which can. Things that or which help a person to become enough happy. Okay, so it's alright. Okay, those things really do not need money. Okay, so the word things is not a rich vocabulary. Do not use words like things or many or stuff, right? So that's informal, but let me just write about What else did you write? I forgot. I was just thinking of it. Good. Okay, so do not write basic vocabulary items. Mentally peace is the main thing to become happy in life. It should be mental peace, or you can write mentally being free, being peaceful, but mental peace is better. A person needs to find his happiness in everything he is doing. So it's all right. So this paragraph is also strictly about this view. It has got nothing to do with this view. So this is okay. One paragraph should be about this view. Another paragraph should be about this view. However, as I've said, you've written this part. You've written 144 words on the second view only. You've only written 47 words on the first view. So that is not balanced at all. Finally, to sum up, this is a transitional marker. You haven't really written any transitional sentence, living devices, in the last paragraph besides the first one. This cannot be denied. So the word cannot is together, and it should be denied. That a person can get anything with money, but money always cannot buy happiness. The same as before. Cannot buy happiness on its own. You should write on its own. Alright, happiness needs personal satisfaction, and this can be earned, right? Be earned or received. I'm sorry, my PC is lagging for some reason. By doing different factors in life. So overall, this is a good enough essay, but there are lots of grammatical mistakes and also some focusing issues. For example, this view has not been sufficiently discussed, but you have actually made clear what your opinion is. Your opinion is that you support the second view. This is very clear, so this is fine. So so this is not your marks. I have copy pasted another person's mark here. I forgot to remove them, so let me mark you right now. Alright, so first of all, task response. This is the official rubric of IELTS Writing Task 2. So for task response, you have sufficiently discussed the second task requirement, giving your own opinion. It should be sufficiently fulfilled. However, you have not sufficiently discussed the first view, right? First view, money can buy happiness. Suggestion: one entire paragraph for each view. Okay, so what can I give you in task response? Let me see. Do you get a 7 at lots of the task? This is a clear tendency to overgeneralize. I think you're getting a 6 in task response. Okay. Yeah, you're better than a 5. I'm giving you a 6 here. Let's go to coherence and cohesion. You've not written many linking devices. Okay, so first of all, paragraphing is enough, but you haven't dedicated an entire paragraph for the first view. Therefore, your paragraphing is not always logical. Suggestion. The same suggestion for task response I've given you here as well, and use many more linking devices, 3 in each paragraph and 2 in the introduction. Alright, this is the suggestion. Of course, this is not a hard and fast rule. So what can I give you in coherence and cohesion? I'm afraid I have to give you a 5 here. Let's go to lexical resource. So you have not actually used very rich vocabulary items, and the most important mistake you've made is this one. So the suggestion is to use more richer vocabulary items, and also for lexical resource use many more synonyms. Just economic can be replaced with financial, right? Another thing is to rephrase the question prompt. So what can I give you here? I'm not sure about a 5 or a 6, but since I've given you a 5 here, I think a 6 is alright. I'm giving you a 6 here. Finally, grammatical range and accuracy. You've made a ton of grammatical mistakes, and you have also not used many complex sentences, right? I don't think you've used many at all. And also, when you use complex sentences, you have to be sure that you are grammatically correct, right? Several grammatical mistakes. Use many more complex sentences. So let's see what you'll get. Yeah, I think I'm giving you a 5 here. So your total score is a 5.5. Alright, hope you do better in the next one.